What's going on, everybody? I'm a recovering addict. My name is Brian. Welcome to Truth Addiction, the channel that deals with addiction in all its glorious forms. Today, I wanted to do a video on another symptom of the disease of addiction as far as I'm concerned. And when I see a lot of people come into the rooms of a 12-step program, especially the one I'm in, as soon as they put down the drugs, as they're being clean, they pick up something else. And one of the things that they pick up is gambling. All right? Gambling become a big issue. And I wanted to find a video. I was researching a little bit. I was trying to find like a doctor talking about it or something, but it's all words that I don't understand, and it's like kind of hard to break down. So once again, I found, understanding problem gambling and the brain. And I kind of watched a little bit of it, and it seems pretty simple to understand. And I just wanted to break it down. So, if you like the video, hit that like. Give me a comment, man. I want to hear what you guys got to say. And, maybe subscribe, But anyway, let's get into this, man.
Many people who gamble can do so without a problem. So why do some people feel compelled to keep gambling, even as they find themselves sinking deep into debt, losing things they care about, and even damaging relationships?
Sinking into debt, damaging relationships, losing things they love. Sound familiar? I'm just saying. Welcome to the disease of addiction. Here's one form of it.
Until recently, people struggling with gambling were seen as compulsive or lacking willpower. But researchers have now gathered enough evidence to classify problem gambling as an addiction, commonly referred to as disordered gambling. What happens in the brain of a person with disordered gambling looks a lot like what happens in the brain.
Now, this is where I watched this video up to. So you see how these two brains look exactly the same? I know. That's not really that good of a drawing of a brain. It's not really in depth, but you see how similar they are? Well, she's about to tell you that this one's drugs and that one is gambling. All right? So I just wanted to, point that out.
Brain of a person with an addiction to drugs or alcohol. And like any addiction, some people are just more susceptible than others due to a combination of genetic, environmental, and physiological factors. This is a developing field of study, but here's what we know right now. Deep inside the human brain is the reward center. When we do something that feels good, like when we eat a good meal, or look at a beautiful view, or do something fun or exciting, this part of our brain sends out signals telling us to do more of that. These signals are received by the parts of our brain tied to memory and decision-making.
Now, we all know what parts of the brain they were from the last video. Something like, I don't know which one it is. The hippocampus over here, amygdala over here or something. But these are the reward systems where we shoot. Did you hear that? So when we do something good, now they're talking about things like looking at a nice, beautiful view, or seeing, maybe seeing your kids playing or graduate or something, or, eating a good meal, things that your brain, your body's telling your brain, or your brain's saying, like, let's do that again, man. You know what I'm saying? But somehow we end up replacing that with things like roulette wheels and clickety-clack dice. Let's listen.
As far as our brains know, feeling good is good for us. Therefore, we should remember that and keep doing whatever it is that's making us feel good. For most people, their brain will tell them when they've had enough of something that it's time to stop. But for a person who's struggling with an addiction to gambling, this process is out of balance. When they gamble, the reward center sends out the signal saying, "This is good." But the decision-making part of the brain doesn't respond in the same way as it would in someone who is not addicted.
So listen, drug-wise and, drinking-wise, I remember specifically being at some parties and I would go to hand like a dude another beer because he only had two, and the dude would say something like, "Nah, I'm good." And I was perplexed. You're good. How could you be good? I couldn't, my diseased ass brain couldn't even understand what that means. Like, I'm good. You know what I mean? And now we're talking about gambling here, right? So I have partaked in some gambling. I could tell you that. I've been down Atlantic City plenty of times spinning them reels, baby. Spinning them. And I could tell you, what she's saying right now is absolutely fucking true, bro. It's like something triggers in my brain, bro. I could lose $1,000 that I didn't even have. And I'll still walk over to that window of shame. You know what I mean? Like where I can't pull no more money out of the Mac machine. So I need to have them kind of shadily do it and get it out of my bank for me. And you know what they do? They charge you $250. One time I was down there, bro, they charged me $300 just to take $500 out of my bank, bro. Psh. Crazy.
This means that for a person who struggles with gambling, it's really hard to set limits and clearly understand the risks and consequences tied to their gambling. Much in the way the pancreas of a person with diabetes struggles with producing insulin to help their body process food into energy, the brain of the person with an addiction to gambling struggles to process information and make decisions based on that information.
Bro, they're comparing that just like every other disease, I mean, they're just talking about the pancreas with diabetes, like how it's struggling and how the same things are occurring off of playing poker, spinning, pulling a slot machine lever, man. Like, that's crazy. This is why we need to really sit down, right? Become aware of ourselves and the things that we do, things that we trigger, that trigger us, you know what I'm saying? And have better coping skills for that, right? So I use the coping skills of the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous, right? And by the way, this channel does not express the views of Narcotics Anonymous as a whole. These are just my views, right? Just want to put that out there. But this is why, man, even with a gambler, you can't, you might find yourself being able to you know what? I'm not going to gamble today, right? And you'll be doing good for 20, 30 days, maybe 2-3 months. But then, man, all of a sudden, man, just a certain smell, just seeing something, man. Hey, man, I know a dude used to gamble, the smell of money used to make him want to gamble, dude. It would just trigger that, right? So this is where it takes internal work, man. You know what I mean? And for me, when I found NA, it deals with addiction, period. Our first step is we were powers over our addiction, period, right? Didn't matter what it was. But I know people that were affected by this, and I think it's good that I show this to some people, because I know some people need to see this.
At the same time, these signals are being received by the parts of the brain tied to memory, linking the memories of the good feelings produced by gambling to the sights, sounds, and smells of their environment. And the more they gamble or even think about gambling, the stronger those links become, to the point that something like the sound of a credit card machine or the smell of a dollar bill can trigger
What'd I just say? The smell of a dollar bill Cash rule everything around me. Cream get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all.
Making. As far as our brains know, feeling good is good for us. Therefore, we should remember that and keep doing whatever it is that's making us feel good. For most people, their brain will tell them when they've had enough of something that it's time to stop. But for a person who's struggling with an addiction to gambling, this process is out of balance. When they gamble, the reward.
Oh, my fault. I must have went back to a part of the video. Let's get this right. Yo, this
Smell
is
of
some
a dollar
crazy
bill
stuff though,
can
man.
trigger intense
Crazy, man.
cravings to gamble, making it very difficult to quit. But there is hope and there is help. Experts in prevention have put together some guidelines that can prevent problems with gambling. Set a time and money limit. Gamble for entertainment only, and treat the money you lose as the cost of that entertainment. Don't gamble.
You see these preventions right here, right? Now here's going to be a part in the video where I kind of disagree. Here's my thing. We have a saying where in the program I'm in, if you don't pick it up, you won't use, right? Same thing applies here. I don't think somebody with the disease of addiction is capable of doing these things. I don't think we're capable of setting a time and a money limit. We're not capable with any of this. Because this is what we do. When we're gambling, this is what we're doing. We're coping with emotional or physical pain. We're trying to, take ourselves out of ourselves, man. So gamble for entertainment only. Listen, when you got the disease of it, that's like a heroin addict going, you know what, look, I'm only going to pop a half a Percocet, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've been clean for a little bit. I'm just going to do a half a Percocet, you know what I mean? It just don't work. It just, bang, you're back in it. And then what's crazy is, let's say you do stop either doing drugs or gambling for a little bit, and then when you do pick it back up, the progression is crazy. You think you're going to slowly build up to how you did it before into your addiction, but nah, when you pick it back up, you're right back where you were, and the progression is even more crazier, dude.
Gamble as a way to cope with emotional or physical pain. And know the warning signs of problem gambling. Not sure if you have a problem with gambling? Ask yourself, have you ever bet more money than you intended to bet? Have you ever lied about your gambling? If you or someone you care about is struggling with gambling, free and confidential help is available at opgr.org.
All right, I'm going to kill it right there. Y'all want to search that OPGR. I mean, they did put this video out, You could check it out. But here's what I'm saying. They do have a 12-step fellowship for gambling. It's called Gamblers Anonymous, right? So my suggestion to anybody who is experiencing just a gambling problem, that's what you're going to think you have when you first go in. You know what I mean? You're not going to see it as a bunch of different, you're not going to see the gambling as a symptom of the disease, right? Just like when most people walk into a Narcotics Anonymous meeting or any other kind of 12-step, you think that the problem that you're having is the only problem. You just need to fix that, right? I just need to get off this heroin, I'm good. I just need to stop spinning this fucking roulette table, stop spinning the wheel, looking at the ball bounce around, and I'll be good. But then what happens is, if you don't do anything to change yourself from within, either you'll just find another symptom to ride on, or you'll just keep going back to that same symptom, right? So my suggestion is, man, you got to do some kind of searching and fearless moral inventory within, right? You need to find out what makes you tick. You need to find out what's happened in your life and what is presently happening in your life, right? And start to look at that and understand yourself, right? And that's to me what a 12-step program does, right? For me, it's Narcotics Anonymous. You know, I'm forever grateful to this program, man. But my thing is, on this channel, we're going to explore all the symptoms because I want to get to the exact nature of the disease itself, right? What's going on in this brain. And if you notice, man, like same stuff is firing off when we do heroin as it is when we're spinning a wheel at a roulette table or we're playing craps and rolling dice, right? Now, granted, certain things will give off a higher dopamine burst, right? For instance, pulling a slot machine, you're going to get some dopamine hitting, but it ain't going to be like crystal meth, right? Because crystal meth is probably a bigger shot, you know what I'm saying? And then the more and more your receptors take on this dopamine, man, then they start to create artificial channels to like filter it out. So we are literally changing our brains, literally. All right. So anyway, that's going to do for this video, man. Listen, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, man. Leave a comment, man. You know what I'm saying? And remember, the disease of addiction is broad and outside of the realm of just using drugs, man. And with that said, y'all have a good day. Keep coming back. More will be revealed. Peace, man.